Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tea Time.
Tea Time!
Today on the podcast, I am so excited because we have someone I love very much. The lovely... My phone is vibrating in my ass.
And I turned my phone off. Ha ha.
The lovely, incredible, beautiful, our friend Avery was.
Avery's in the house.
Welcome to Tea Time.
No, thank you so much for having me. I adore both of you, so I'm
We
so
love
honored
you
to
too,
be
girl.
here.
You got a tan.
Do I? I'm actually getting spray tan tonight
Oh.
because I have an event tomorrow. This is quite pale for me.
Oh,
You
well,
look
you
good.
look good. You
Thank
look
you
sun-kissed like California's treating you well.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I did a little outside workout yesterday. In Arizona, that could never happen
True.
because
Too
I'd
hot.
be sweating my ass off.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to cuss on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank God.
Cuss away. We cuss.
Thank God.
We cuss all the time.
Great.
Okay, so since we've seen you last, you have gotten a beautiful new nose.
Yeah, I got a nose job.
Amazing.
Best thing I ever spent
It's-
money on.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
You have moved
Yep.
to California.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
New face, new house.
Oh my God.
new
You know what?
state.
You're ready for life.
There's a lot going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
How does this is home for you, right?
Yeah,
You're
this is
originally from
home.
California?
So I'm from San Luis Obispo. My parents live in Morro Bay, so more Central Coast. But I did spend a lot of my childhood in Arizona. We moved when I was 11. And then when I graduated high school, my parents were like, bye, peaced out, and they went back. But I got a scholarship, so I stayed in Arizona for college. And then my husband was born in La Jolla, so he's from San Diego. And then we moved to San Diego when his grandfather was on hospice when I was in nursing school. So Ziggy was actually born in San Diego.
Okay.
What's your husband's Starbucks order?
Which one?
The one that you made for him
Okay,
before you guys
it was-
went on a date.
Yeah,
David?
it was a triple grande, whole milk, no foam, extra hot, no whip, white mocha.
Now, with that complicated order,
Yeah.
how did you feel about him when you met him? Were
I
you
thought
like,
it was annoying. I thought it was so annoying. Like this 6'5" man in uniform, that's like 240 pounds of muscle. I said, "Why are you drinking a more bougie drink than I am?" It was weird,
Hilarious.
but I gave it to him for
Hilarious.
free because I had a crush on him.
there you go.
From the minute he walked in, were you just
Oh,
like, oh
the
my God.
second, and he was told to go in by another officer I was friends with. Her name was Elsie, and she's like 5'1" and a total badass. And she would always come in and get coffee. And she had told him, "There's a really cute barista. You should go introduce yourself." But he was going to Dutch Bros, a different coffee spot.
How dare you?
I know. And she was like, "I think you should go say hi to this barista." And he's like, "Nah, I don't like Starbucks." But I didn't know that he was told that. So
Yeah.
he walked in one day, and I was like, "Hey,"
Tall.
like, and that's how it is
Water.
looking at him because he's
Yeah.
so tall. And then I made all my customers that were waiting in line wait because I wanted to have a conversation with him.
Yes.
Yeah, so I moved off to the side, and it was one of those moments. And I'm not like a super lovey-dovey person, but it really was one of those moments where everything around us was gone. Like I was locked in on him. Like I wanted to know everything about him. And I was in college, so I was only working 4-hour shifts, like closing shifts, and he came in 3 times in that one shift. So he came back 2 more times that same night. And then I was literally
And ordered the same thing?
no,
Okay.
he didn't
No,
get
he
any more. He
ordered-
just wanted to chat.
He ordered her on the plate.
Yeah,
huh?
exactly. He was like, "I'll get a tall glass of Avery." And I said, "Okay."
Yes.
Extra
Extra
foam.
foam.
Exactly.
Extra whip.
Yeah, extra
Understood.
ass.
Yeah,
you know.
Yes.
So I was like cleaning out the pastry case and about to lock up, and I could tell he wanted to ask for my number, but he was so nervous. Like he gets a little shy. And then he was like, "Well, I really got to go, but do you think maybe we can go get coffee sometime?" And I was like, "I work at a coffee shop."
You know, he's like, but at Dutch Bros where the coffee's not burnt.
Yeah,
No
right.
Dunkin',
Exactly. Yeah. So then I ended up writing my number on the back of a receipt paper, and that was almost 12 years ago.
Did you spell his name right on that cup of coffee?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really hard, like to spell David.
David.
I mean,
you know,
some people don't know how to
Raven
spell.
went to set school. She doesn't
Oh.
know. It's hard
like
for her at times.
David.
she also went to art school. So
This is
I-
true.
Like that's still,
And
you're
I
still
can draw
educated.
it, but I can't
Yeah.
spell it.
So you guys went on that date and that was it?
Yeah, that was it. I was 18 and I'm turning 30 next week.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys
Is
just
that like
knew.
your first boyfriend? Or?
I had a high school boyfriend from when I was 15 until like my first semester of freshman year.
Okay.
So about 3 years. But that wasn't a good situation. And then I met him, so that was it. That was it for me.
Oh my
Isn't that
gosh.
crazy?
Yes.
I've lived so many lives with him. It's kind of nuts. Like,
Because that's a lot of growing up together.
oh my God, yeah. And going through college, nursing school, getting married, having kids, moving into, like, that's a lot. And your 20s as a woman alone is a lot because you become an adult, you come into your own, you have kids, you give yourself to someone in marriage, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel really grateful because I do feel like we've grown up together, and obviously there's been lots of highs and lots of lows, but that's a relationship,
100%.
you
yeah.
know?
Did you feel like you could handle being a mom at 18 to two girls?
Yeah. Oh, I always wanted to be a mom. Like it's funny because my mom always said I would have a million baby dolls and they were all named Sarah. Every single one, like
Interesting.
40.
Always,
So
yeah.
Sarah.
apparently that
All
was
Sarah.
One has an
That was your
H, one
name?
has an R, one has a E.
Yeah, you can do like an AH. Like sometimes all the moms try to get crazy with the names. They do like a little EIGH at the end
Yeah.
that's silent for no reason,
Yeah,
you
Sarah.
know. Yeah,
Sarah.
exactly.
Got
Yeah,
it.
and they're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the silent.
Serafina, Sarah for short.
Exactly, yeah. So my mom always said she knew I wanted to be a mom, and it was one of those things though when I found out that he had kids, I was like, nice knowing ya. There's
Yeah.
no way. I was supposed to go over to his apartment that night, like to go to his house for the first time ever, and I canceled on him because he told me, and I was like,
Wow.
I stalked him on Facebook when I had a Facebook, and I thought it was his nieces. I was like, oh, like that must
Got
be
it.
his nieces. I had no idea he had kids. He was only 24, and I knew nothing about his background or like where he came from, why he had kids so young, why he was married so young. And so then after about a week, he convinced me. He's like, I just want to sit down and like explain to you my background. He's like, you can see me again, you cannot see me again, but I just want to kind of talk you through where I'm at in life. And then I was hooked. And that was it. And they were only 4 and 2, so they were really little. Now they're 13 and 15. We're car shopping for one right now.
That's so
You
crazy.
sound
Yeah.
like the movie The Holiday.
crazy.
It's
Isn't that The
crazy.
Yeah, it is. The movie
it's
The
nuts.
Holiday.
Yeah.
Good for you.
You're the
I'm happy
Cameron
for you.
Diaz of
Thank
David is your Jude Law.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
that.
the two girls.
Yeah, but our oldest, Anaya, just turned 15 in February, so she's getting her driver's permit this summer. And so we were asking her about different cars, and it's just really weird. It's really weird.
Are you going to buy her a new car or are you going to buy her a used
No,
car?
are you kidding me? No. That's one thing is we didn't come from this world, and like we did not grow up with money. I bought a PT Cruiser when I was 16. Yeah. Oh, that was a cool car then.
Yeah.
David still makes fun of me, but I'm like, no, I was rolling around. Are you
It's like
kidding
a
me?
baby hearse.
Exactly.
Hilarious. It is. It totally is.
Without
Oh my
the
God.
coffin. In
Without the
back.
coffin in the
Yeah,
back, but like ready for it in
yeah.
case. Yeah.
So I, like, my parents told me, when you're 16, you work. So on my 16th birthday was my first day at Starbucks. I was in all EP classes. I played a varsity sport. Like, I worked really, really hard. And my mom had the PT Cruiser, and then it was passed down to my sister. And my sister was 5 years older than me, but I had to buy it off my parents. But I also had to pay for my own car insurance, my phone bill, and then they found out Starbucks covers health insurance. So I also had to cover my own health insurance when I was 16.
I love your parents.
Yeah, so I learned work ethic and money management very, very young because it was always on me. And same with school. Like, I got accepted into 4-year universities. I chose to go to a local community college because I got a scholarship. I didn't want a lot of student loans and debt.
Yeah, smart.
And I knew I was going to have to take out loans to go to nursing school, so I was trying to cut it in half. So yeah, really young I was working.
What made you decide to go to nursing school?
I knew I wanted to be a nurse when I was like a toddler. There's a home video of me telling my dad I want to be a nurse because he was obsessed with watching ER medical shows.
Oh yeah,
You watching
And-
The Pit? Did you watch The Pit?
Okay,
we
I
love.
have
The
it
Pit.
saved because my best friend that's an ICU nurse was like, you have to watch it.
really
Okay,
good.
because I heard it's actually realistic.
It is, and they talk about that. And I was watching a clip about the training that they put all the actors through,
Oh,
and they
cool.
actually like sent them
Oh, I
to a
love that.
hospital. They were taught by actual doctors. They talked to nurses. They had classes, and then they had weeks and weeks of rehearsal where they were working on dummies and they were practicing like doing IVs, intubating,
I love
all the
that.
language. So they really did it correct.
So good.
That's
They
why
really
I never
did.
watched Grey's, and everyone gave me shit for it. But I'm like, I'm sorry,
fake.
when someone's doing chest compressions with their elbows bent like this, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing more
no- yeah.
triggering. That's dramatic. That's dramatic. That was dramatic, everyone. That was dramatic. But like, nurses or people that have worked in healthcare know.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're just like, come on, really?
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. But my best friend's been an ICU, like adult ICU nurse for 10 years, and she was like, I'm telling you, it's worth the watch. It's so good.
It's really good. We've really enjoyed it.
Okay, I'll start
So
it.
that's so interesting. So it feels like you were somebody who just like knew,
Oh, yeah.
just across the board with
Yeah.
things in your life.
I was very much an old soul my whole life. Everyone said you're a very old soul. I was very responsible. Like, I never rebelled. I never partied. I never like branched out. It's so interesting now because I've just never really had the urge to, I guess. And it was always around me because I went to a school where a lot of rich kids went. So there was a lot of hard drugs, a lot of parties.
Yeah.
And I was always the DD. I don't know why.
We have that in common.
Yeah.
I was too.
I guess I
I
was
was
always
the passenger.
Yeah.
I was always very motherly, or like wanted to take care of others, again, which kind of coincides with nursing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's so interesting. I totally relate to that. And I think for me, I didn't go into nursing, but I became a birth doula.
Yeah.
And I also worked as a personal assistant. And they're very like one-on-one,
Totally.
relationship driven, caretaking driven lines of work. So
Yeah.
that makes total sense.
Yeah.
That's why you're my sister from another mister. What is one of the weirdest DMs you've ever gotten?
Oh my God. I mean, asking for videos of my husband and I having sex for money.
Oh, people want like you to have an OnlyFans.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been one. And I've had, I don't know if it's really, I guess, I mean, you guys know how it feels to get hate. People are so weird, but
Yeah.
people are so convinced of things that they think are true or that happen. And so those just kind of make me laugh and I just ignore them. But, or feet pics. That's another one.
They want your feet.
Yeah, which I'm like, oh God, don't look at my toes right now. They're atrocious. I need a pedicure massively.
People love a foot. It's
I don't
so
know what it
weird.
is. And like, I don't know like how they're into that. Like, I'm trying to think of like, you know, putting your feet on genitalia and like, I just don't, I don't get
Avery,
it.
there's a line that we cross
Sorry,
at tea
sorry.
time. We're at the dinner
She
table,
hates-
Avery.
She
I'm
hates
sorry.
feet though too.
I cannot
That's-
Yeah.
stand feet,
That's
except
what
for
I'm
my
s-
wife's.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get it. That's why I try to wrap my head around it because I'm not here to judge. But,
Right.
like,
I am.
It's just not for
I'm
me.
here to judge,
She's
Avery.
always here to
Listen,
judge.
they judged me my whole life. I'm
Yeah.
giving it back.
Do you know what I just saw a TikTok of the other day, actually? We talked about this on my podcast when you went out and you're like something about your music or whatever. What'd you say? Like, no one's listening to my music or something. And I was
This
like,
is, like circulating
I
again.
fucking love her so much because you just didn't give a fuck.
I don't.
You literally don't care. And it's so refreshing.
I don't care, and I'm learning to even be more honest with the fact that I don't care. So I'm going to ask you a don't care question.
Okay, please.
You are a very open person.
Yeah.
For the world to scrutinize, for everyone to look at. Coming from such modest, I work hard, Starbucks, nursing, family woman. Why?
Because
How are you comfortable sharing so much?
I feel like when I was a user of social media and not posting, I felt alone in a lot of things. And I felt like people weren't being honest. And I didn't think it was, no, let me rephrase. I was like, am I the only one that feels this way or has experienced this? And so when my Instagram was really, really small, I would do Q&As and I would answer questions very honestly. The amount of DMs from women I would get that were like, thank you so much for talking about this. Women never talk about this. People don't talk about this. I was so tired of the fakeness. And I also, as I grew in this industry, I met so many other people in my position that were so different in person. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I think that people automatically put a shell over themselves and protect themselves from social media because they know the scrutiny that comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas for me, I know when you meet me, I will be the same in person that I am online, and I'm going to be honest. And that does attract hate. It does attract a lot of judgment, but you can't say that I'm not honest and I'm
Right.
not real, you know?
Right.
And I don't know why that bothers people so much. It also really bothers people that I've, you know, gone from a very normal, hardworking career to now where I'm at now. And it's funny because in the beginning it was, we're rooting for you. We made the right person famous. That's what they would always say. And then now that I'm, you know, able to move my family and be the only one working and get my husband off the streets and do all these
Not
things.
off the streets, Avery.
Yeah.
He was a cop.
Yeah, he was a cop.
Oh,
That's what I
sorry.
meant.
I was like, girl, what you doing
Yeah,
on the
off the
streets,
streets,
girl?
taking people to jail. But now they kind of turn, and that's like a
Yeah.
very common thing, is once you find success, it's now you're not relatable and they don't like you, but in the beginning they supported
Well,
you.
people build you up to tear you down. It's
Absolutely.
literally it's
It's the
so
MO of,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's so
And
weird.
you start at a certain, you were telling the truth at the beginning and you still tell the truth.
Yeah.
But do you feel now that you have accumulated such a following and you do have such a brand now, do you find yourself creating that mask to
Yes.
bring some of it back?
Absolutely, especially
to.
recently. Yeah, I think what really did it for me was our privacy being compromised so much. People coming to my house where my children live and, leaking the layout of our house or seeing which windows my children's
Oy.
bedrooms are. That really started
It's
to bother
terrifying.
me. And I think it's also hard because my husband and I have seen the worst in society, right? He was a police officer in a very rough area. I was a pediatric ICU nurse at a level 1 trauma. So we saw crazy shit that's not normal. And so we're a little bit hyper paranoid. But that's okay. I'd rather be that
Yeah.
than, compromise our safety. But now it started to eat at me a lot, and I've talked to people about this before, where I saw such tragedy and things that would usually affect your mental health, working full-time in the ICU during the pandemic. Like, we saw some rough shit, but I've never had struggles with my mental health until I made it on social media.
It's so wild.
I'm going to say hilarious because I have a problem with dealing with trauma. But so, whoa.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, no, it's so true. Like, this is morbid to say, and it's so sad, but like, my job when I was a PICU nurse, like, it was very common to have babies and children pass away.
Yeah.
Like, that was a very normal thing for us. And seeing things that you wouldn't even see on the news. But that was something I signed up for, and I loved it so much. I had such a passion for it. And also coming home and having David where we could kind of talk through things together because we understood each other. But it wasn't until I got millions of outside opinions from people that have never met me in my entire life that I was like, fuck, am I a piece of shit? Am I a bad mom? Am I a bad person? Am I ugly? Like, you start to question it
Yeah.
because you see it so much.
Yeah.
So I haven't been on social media. Like, I haven't scrolled or looked at comments in almost 2 months.
Wow.
And
Good
it's
for
been
you.
one of the best things I've ever done for my mental health.
I feel you on that. It is really wild. And I think
Yeah.
about this often because I get a ton of hate. And I think about it's so wild to me how a person that I don't know, that most likely I would never even want to engage with in real life. Like, I don't imagine we would ever be a friend. I don't imagine I'd ever value this person's opinion. But that typed word of coming against me, or seeing like a video that somebody posts talking about why they hate me so
Yes.
much, and I can actually then see the person's face. Even that, it's like, whoa, like I'll have an actual visceral physical response
yeah.
that's just kind of like ouchy. Like, it's so, I don't know. It's really
Yeah.
crazy how impactful that stuff can be.
Yeah, and I was getting to a point too where I was really tired of the lies. Like, there was so many
Yes.
people that were like, she got fired from her nursing job, and then everyone in the comments were like, I knew it. She's a piece of shit. I knew that was true. I'm like, one of my closest friends is my old manager. Like, I left that job because my social media was picking up and I was doing aesthetic nursing. Like, that was a choice that I made. And they still were like, could you do just 1 day a week? Like, they were asking me to
Yeah.
stay. But I'm not going to waste my time defending myself because I know what the truth is. They say the same thing with David. They think that he got fired. I'm like, you hate the fact that I was able to he doesn't have to work anymore. You don't like the fact that as a woman and a mom
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
family of 6, I'm able to support my family. That bothers you
Yeah.
because they're insecure or whatever their thoughts are. But then I got to a point where I was like, why am I constantly feeling the need to defend myself when they're going to believe what they want to believe? Because they already have an opinion about me.
I remember when the only time you heard a negative comment about a celebrity was either in the home with your own friends or
Yeah.
in the Inquirer.
Yeah.
And there was no way that a celebrity, other than you booing them when they're on stage, you hear those negative comments. So I come from a time period when I know not to listen, and other people soaked up that information for me. But then even with them saying that, I felt it on me, and I'm like, okay, let me read some of it. And you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of just a group of little bitches at school that like to talk shit about people. And I'm like, oh, this is your fun.
Oh, yeah.
This is fun for you. And I find it interesting, the more people that I meet that found their celebrity and found their career through social media, it's a learning curve. It's a true learning curve that I'm very lucky that I didn't have to have at such a young age when I started.
People, like you were saying, will take something. They'll just like take a soundbite, they'll take a clip, and then they'll run with it. And that is also similar to you. What has gotten me so bothered, like how you were talking about, oh, she was fired and David was fired. It's like I have felt the urge. I think it's a human. Hello?
Nothing.
I think it's a normal human response to want to defend yourself when someone is accusing you of something that you know is not true. Because I've always said, if people are, I don't have a problem with people not liking me. I don't believe that you have to like everyone on this planet.
Absolutely not.
I don't think that I'm going to be everyone's cup of tea. I don't live in that space.
Yeah, because she's mine.
Exactly.
I don't live in that headspace at all. But what bothers me is like when people start saying that the only reason that Raven and I are together is because I put my period blood in tomato sauce and forced her to eat it. And like,
huh?
Yeah.
That's real? Someone
That's
said
a
that?
real thing.
Dude, people are so
and
weird.
then I don't go seeking comments. Like I do not read things, but
Yeah.
what will happen is I'll get a DM or sometimes I'll like be scrolling on TikTok and I'll see it pop up.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what the fuck?
Sometimes it's hard to miss,
Exactly.
which is why it sucks. Which is why, again, I even had to stop scrolling. Like, I feel so disconnected to some of my personal friends too. Because I'm like, I text them like, what the fuck's going on in your life? Like, I don't see anything.
Yeah.
But it got to a point too where I was like, even when I'm scrolling, I'm seeing a video about me or a stitch about me or something, and I'm like, it would ruin me for 3 days. David's like, where's my wife? You know, and like that kills me. And then it's so sad to say, but I'm like, it makes me a shitty mom. Like I'm not happy. I don't want to play. I don't want to go outside and take them to do things, or like I just was so consumed and depressed. And earlier this year when I decided to do it, it was because that was the first time I ever had a plan to take my life. Like I had never empathized with people in that, but that was the first time where I was like
you were having such intense suicidal ideation.
Oh yeah. I was like, this is what people are talking about. Like I've never felt that way before. And I've talked to some friends that have experienced that, but I was like, okay, now I'm fucking scared actually, because I don't want to leave my kids without a mom.
Yeah.
And that's what these people were making me feel like. And so I was like, I have to remove myself.
You had it on a different level too. I mean, like the people that were coming after you were relentless.
It was
and
bad.
It, I heard this saying recently, and it was, "There's no hate like Christian love."
Do I wish what happened to me or anyone really being canceled on my worst enemy? Absolutely not. However, I don't regret what happened or wish I could take it back because I have learned so much.
I mean, I understand that I was on The View, so.
You know what I've learned, Avery? That on this show, we always ask our guest to go into that pot
Okay.
and pull out our topic and tell us what it is that we're talking about.
I want somebody to make a clip reel of just my wife's
Do I pull it forward?
way of getting into the pot.
Okay.
I think that's a hilarious. Listen, I'll
Laura's on
comment.
it.
I'll comment down on your clip reel.
Just put. Oh, thanks, babes.
You're welcome.
She'll comment. She's
Do I just pull something out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just pull out one of them. I know there's so many, so just pull out one.
the one topic that you feel the most drawn to.
Interesting. Parasocial relationships.
What?
Ooh.
What's that?
Okay, babes, I'll read you the
What's
definition. I knew
parasocial
that my little
relationships?
wifey wouldn't.
You're actually you're gonna love this.
A one-sided imaginary connection or bond that someone develops with a media figure, celebrity, influencer, fictional character they don't know personally, often feeling a sense of intimacy or familiarity despite the lack of real-world interaction.
Yeah.
You
What
guys, let's like toast to that.
Parasocial
Parasocial.
relationships. Yeah.
So, can anyone relate at this table?
Yeah, actually, this is quite funny. This is why I stopped doing vlogs of my daughter on the internet. I used to use funny little Stevie vlogs during the pandemic when life was chaotic. And she just has such a funny personality that I would do these little voice. I saw someone do it with a dog where they would do like this high pitched voice, and it was really funny.
I used to do it with her.
Yeah, it's so funny. And she was just like the wildest toddler, and I found so much joy in it, and it gave other people so much joy. Like nothing makes me happier than when a grandma stops me and it's like, I love your content with your kids. Like that. I'm like, can
Yeah.
all my entire audience be grandmas, please?
Sweet older women.
But then when people started running up to my daughter at Target and trying to pick her up, I was like, okay, so for them, they know her, they love her,
They feel like they know her,
She is a toddler and you're a stranger.
Yeah.
She has no idea. So I remember like one time I like physically like stopped a woman. Like I locked my arm and I felt bad because I like kind of pushed her. But I was like, I'm just going to stop you because like my daughter's like this. You know? She's kind of like, what the fuck? But that's a very good example of a parasocial relationship because she's so infatuated with her and thinks she knows her personally when really we have no idea who they are and she has no idea who we are.
We had that experience this weekend actually because we had friends over who had never been to our house before who have never met our dog. But they know our dog because they've seen photos of him.
Yep.
So these are newer friends. And when I tell you, this woman, I was upstairs, but all I know is that when I came downstairs, my dog was traumatized. And I was like, what happened to my dog? And then Raven's like, oh, she chased the dog around the house because she thought she knew the dog. And I'm like, my dog doesn't know you.
Yeah.
And I was like,
We love you, girl. You know who you are. We love
yeah,
you.
we love you. But I was like, okay, she felt like she knew this dog. But I mean, a better example is just being married to you, babes, where everyone feels like they know my wife.
No, you have it on a different level though, because you've literally been on TV since you were like 18 months old. So that's it's extremely difficult though, because you never feel alone ever. No matter where you are, you know someone's always watching you. Someone's always taking a photo. They think they know you. When like I grew up watching you, you know this, we talked about this, but like I didn't know you until I met you.
Right.
That's just how it is.
Do you feel that way when you're out now? Do you really always feel like there's something like a paranoia or?
Yeah, it's just nothing you get used to, especially like when you come from such a different life and job. Like, I mean, I only left nursing in October of 2023. Like, it hasn't been that long.
Oh, wow.
But then, you know, people started, especially parents of patients, started to know who I was, and that was kind of scary.
Yeah.
Because you never know what's going to happen, you know, especially when you work with such high acuity children. Like, they can crash really easily or something could happen. So you don't want them to go after you because they know that you have a social media platform, you make money, they could sue you, that kind of thing. But I'm still not used to it now. Like, even at the farmer's market when we're there, it's quite nuts because I am like a grain of sand on a beach compared to you.
My God, what?
So, like, me going to the farmer's market, I think I was stopped like 5 or 6 times, which I want to say, people will always say, like, sorry for saying hi and coming up to you, but I always tell them I would not have my career, my job, if I didn't have those people following me and supporting my family. That is something I'm forever grateful for, and I would never, ever in my life be like, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to take a picture with you, because I know my career is based off my relationship with my followers, and that's something very real, and I'm really grateful for that. But I will say, being here, I find, at least where I live, people are a little bit more respectful. I think because they're used to seeing people way cooler than me, like massive celebrities, that they're a little more chill and like conscious of your privacy and really nice and kind. I'm not saying that people in Arizona weren't nice and kind, but it was a little bit different because in Arizona, no one famous lives there.
Right.
So it's like if they see an influencer walking out of Pilates,
Huge
they're like,
deal.
holy fucking shit. You know, it's like they're running up to you. It's just a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different experience.
And I think one of the differences between an actor's fame and an influencer's fame is a lot of influencers, especially like what you do, it's lifestyle. So people
Totally.
see your day to day.
Yeah.
They know what you're eating. They know the coffee you order.
Yeah.
They know your drink. Like, you know, they understand your kids, your husband. So it's like you're not, even though you can put a mask on and you are, you know, showing maybe the best elements or whatever, it's like people really feel an intimate connection to you versus a character. But I think one of the things I've noticed with Raven that's so interesting, because it's heavily true, in my opinion, that your audience has this connection to you, this parasocial connection, is that people have watched her grow up on TV. So they've seen her from the time she was a itty bitty baby to who she is today.
Mm-hmm.
They think that they know her. And then she was a formative figure in development. So
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like, it wasn't just like adults tuning in to watch
No,
a
we were
show.
connected. You just
Exactly.
didn't know it. I
Yeah.
had a parasocial relationship with Raven.
I mean, it's wild. How do you feel about that? And
About all of my relationships
and,
around the world.
and it's her same name. That's the thing too.
See, that actually, okay, I actually have a question for you. Why was that? Why did they use your actual name? Was the role written around you, or was it?
So there was a show called Absolutely Psychic that tested as a
Yes.
sitcom.
Yeah.
And when they tested it, the testing ended up to where it landed in my lap to where I played the lead character. And I think my dad and Disney and everyone kind of had the conversation since it was going to be based around me. And I had already been on The Cosby Show and Hanging with Mr. Cooper and multiple other things. I think, the powers that be pushed it to make my name.
Yeah.
And it was such a, it made sense at the time. I'm sure I was 15 and in my own world. So I can only, think about if I had to make that decision today, a Black female lead character that had already been in the industry, it's the right step. Everyone loves Raymond, The Cosby Show,
Totally.
Jamie Foxx Show. It's like it kind of goes in the
Yeah.
succession of what sitcoms do at the time.
Yeah.
So your question to me, babe, about how do I feel about are you asking me how I feel about those that are in the relationship with me, or if I've had a relationship with others?
Well, I know you haven't, so that's not that. What
How you know? I am in a relationship with others.
Well, you've had relationships with others, but not relationships with like all of your when somebody comes up to take a picture with you, you're not like, "Hey, Maria, I saw you comment on this thing
You
2 days ago."
you don't be around me all the time.
Okay,
girl.
babe, so you got what I'm saying. My question to you is more about how you feel when people feel like they know you so well and you don't know them. Kind of what Avery was saying earlier. It's like people come up to you, and I see how you handle people. You handle people beautifully, and you are so kind and so generous. But I just mean, do you ever feel like you don't know me? Like people will talk shit. People think that they know you better than I know you.
Right. Those are the people on the internet, though. The people
Yeah.
that are in my face, they don't speak that way. There's a type of decorum that my energy allows and repels the things that I don't need. I love the people that have supported me all of these years. I find that the more I'm honest with them when they come up, the more they like it. So if somebody comes up to me and I have 3 bites of burger in my mouth and can I take a picture, I'll be like,
Yeah.
and I'll look at the mom or the child and I'll be like, I'll do it. I'll come to you after. Just give me a chance to eat.
For sure.
I'm very honest with it. And then I'm also honest of, I don't look good today, boo-boo, but let me help you do this and this. I will do everything to make sure that their experience of me works. Because I also know that no matter if I'm having a bad day or not, that's their first time seeing me. So their first impression is really important.
Yeah.
But I also have to honor myself and have some self-awareness. And as I got older, seeing it and seeing the more that I spoke my truth on The View with my wife and on the internet, people started to understand that I'm kind of just like a homie. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So if
totally.
you come up to me, we're cool. You could tell that story about the time when we were in New York and all those kids came up to me.
Oh my God, this was the craziest thing. This was the craziest thing. So Raven and I are walking to Whole Foods, and we lived in Chelsea. And there was a school, and I literally I hear a bell ring, and I don't think much of it, but I clocked it enough. And all of a sudden, there's 3 kids that come out of school. And one looks and clocks Raven. So they run over, "Hi, can I take a picture?" As this is happening, more kids are coming out. So all of a sudden, it's like a release of an entire high school.
Yep.
And when I tell you, they swarmed. I actually got panicked because I had never experienced anything like this in
Yeah,
my
that's a lot.
life. And I've been around shit. I've been around uber famous people. This was extremely overwhelming to me. And it was because it was a whole high school, and they all start just circling around and they're screaming. They all have their phones out. "Raven, Raven, Raven." I was like, this is an actual nightmare. And I started saying back up, and Raven was like, "Do not, do not, do not." Because she knew how to handle
I
it. And she
learned
literally,
from military people how to handle crowds.
but Raven literally, like at the top of her lungs, was like, stop. And everyone kind of stopped. And she took one kid's phone and she goes, y'all, get behind me. We're taking one picture. And she held that one phone up.
Smart.
And all the kids got, it was like the biggest graduation photo ever. And we're all just in it. And she took it. And then she was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And we just like,
Because
bounced.
it
was amazing.
I bring that up to say it's like when you have those people come up, especially for your daughter, and this is unsolicited advice, it's learning how to stand in your power.
Yeah, totally.
It's learning how to say, I'm a human too. I know you've been through something, and I know that you're in your feels, but you also have to respect my space.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I think that the younger, no matter if you're a celebrity or not, the younger you learn how to stand to protect yourself energetically, those who aren't supposed to be in that space will do it. And I know
Yeah.
that's kind of foo-foo, woo-woo type thing, but I can handle and wrangle a crowd
Totally.
by myself because I'm secure in myself. Now, I did learn from certain people, and, you know, it depends on how many people are there. Obviously, I can't handle thousands by myself, but I did have help back in the day when it was that many, but, like, I can handle it, and I think that's really important because the more flustered you get or the fear, they just go for you.
Yeah, just like recently, my kids, well, mostly my son Ziggy, who's 6, asked, why are they asking for pictures with you? Like, they don't understand what I do for work. And as much as I'd like to protect them, I do think that's a conversation that we do need to have with them because
It's life-changing.
it is. And also, like, having so many kids, like, even if I'm just ordering food, like, one's running over here, one's running over here, like, I don't know who's going to come up to them. And, like, we don't have a nanny anymore. Like, it's just my husband and I. So it's very strange, but actually something funny happened because Ziggy fell at school a couple weeks ago. And anytime they fall or something, the school nurse has to call you just to be like, he's fine, but he has, you know, a little cut on his knee, whatever. And he gets home and he wants to take a bath. And I said, okay, let's take your Band-Aid off. We'll change it to a fresh one. He goes, no, the nurse told me I need to leave the Band-Aid on. And I said, well, mommy's a nurse too, baby. Like, we'll take it off. We'll put a fresh one on. He goes, she's a real nurse. And I said, valid. And I was like,
Valid.
Technically I have an active license, but fair. Like, the skills have probably been lost. But yeah, they still don't really get it.
Yeah,
They
it's,
don't really get
it's
it.
something that has to happen because the way that the entertainment industry has branched out into social media, streaming, and no longer just your 5 channels on the television, it's not just you that's famous anymore. It's the hub of
Totally.
people.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
it's
also
the
family.
It's
Yeah.
the
Totally.
family, and you know there are some strict rules when it comes to, for instance, the royal family. Everybody has their
Yeah.
P's and Q's and what has to happen in front of the camera. But that's like a real thing even for entertainment.
Absolutely.
You know, and my dad really pushed that on us in a way that was toxic, but even when we go out, it's like we don't act the same at home that we do, and our dog knows. Even he's like, yeah, is it your little
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's a weird thing.
But you have a really weird, not weird, you have a really interesting thing because Raven can go unnoticed.
I know how
But
to turn it off.
It's like she knows how to turn it off.
I learned that from an ex.
And she'll put on like a certain outfit, put her hood up. Like we were out all day yesterday. Nobody came up to us. And then randomly we'll be like out in the world and she'll just get like consistent noticing.
That's when I stand in my power and when I don't stand in my power. When I don't stand in my power, nobody's gonna see me.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Totally.
So she knows how to kind of do
I
it
did
that
see
way.
the video of you being serenaded. Is that guy serenading you?
At Wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember we were at the Wicked premiere and we never saw each other?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I stabbed myself with EpiPen and you got
Oh,
someone,
that's right, that's
someone
right,
was
that's
singing
right.
to you. And
Yeah.
I saw that video and I was like, I'm not going to lie, like knowing you personally, I thought you would be absolutely not having that at all. And when I saw who the person was, and I saw you in the video and I was like, what the fuck's going on? And I was
Because
like,
I just turned.
I
Because
was
I
like,
knew it was
oh,
happening.
they're going to sing to Raven.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know about this. You handled it like a champ. You were
I
just
know when
chilling.
a camera's on me from 17 miles away.
100%. You can feel it. Nothing
Yes.
nothing makes me laugh. Pretend this is my phone. It's like me shopping in Sephora and someone's like this.
Ugh.
I'm like, girl, just ask for a picture.
ask.
And I have no issue. But when I'm like wrangling my kids and like just, you know, trying to grab my concealer because I'm out or whatever, like just ask me for a photo. Cause I'm like, At least let me control the angle, girl. Like, you know you're getting that double chin from the side.
And back in the day, the voodoo of it all, they were like, the camera steals your soul. And I'm not saying that it steals your soul. It definitely records it and puts it on wax forever. But I will say, I know when a camera's on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It feels, and I'm sure you have that feeling now, too.
You can feel it. It's like someone's
Yeah.
watching you, but
like
in a
someone's
different
watching you.
way.
Yep.
Yeah.
The world is so funny to me because I feel like we've made up reasoning for everything in this world
Yeah,
to
for
make
sure.
ourselves feel better or worse. But
yeah.
something I heard recently, and you reminded me of this when you said it, was that if you take a photo and you are unphotogenic, like you feel like you look so much better in person, but then every photo you see of yourself, you're like, looks awful. It actually means that you are a special soul that is being protected, because if you look your true self on screen, then you are taken essentially for the masses. But if you are protected and you look bad in photos, and I was like, oh, that's me, I guess, because I was like,
This girl and her
but I was like-
self-deprecation is a mess.
but I was just like, that's funny, because I feel like ultimately what that could be just simply is like, oh, that's an unphotogenic person. They're not
Totally.
having their soul deeply protected
Yeah.
because they're like some angelic individual, but it does make the unphotogenic person feel better.
Yeah, I like that.
Like,
No, I'm
it's
going to
like-
keep that in mind.
Yeah, I
for
was
sure.
like, okay, so you're a highly elevated soul that can't be taken. But if you do believe the camera sucks you dry, then you know. Do you feel more pressure to share more about yourself, knowing that your audience and your fans
are in relationships with you.
Not
are in
anymore.
relationship with you?
I used to.
Yeah.
When not in the height of it, but like as I was growing, I realized the more vulnerable I was, the better my videos did. And so that was something I really fed into, which is very selfish, and you get caught up in it. And then also when you get to a point where like, oh, this is what supports my family.
Yeah.
And then I got to a point where I was like, I don't need to do that in order to find success. And I do feel like, although sometimes the hate seems louder than the love, I do get far more love than hate. I'm really grateful for the people that have
Good for
stuck
you.
with me for a long time.
Yeah.
And they just want to see what I choose to share. And they kind of understood, especially in the last couple months, that I was being a lot more protective of myself and my family. Like, I would see those kind DMs of saying, like, you protect your peace, girl. Like, we see what you're doing. We know, we followed you for 10 years. Like, we know who you are and what you came from.
I have a question.
Yeah.
That's my last question, babes. I promise.
You can ask as many questions
What's
as
the
you want.
weirdest DM you've sent to somebody? Like, be honest, Avery.
Oh, I'll be honest. I mean, sometimes I would like clap back at people when I was being sassy, you know, and being a bitch to them, but they were being a bitch to me first.
So that doesn't count.
Maybe just like, honestly, not really anything weird. Maybe just reaching out for the podcast and like saying I'm a huge fan, and then they read it and ignore me, you
Yeah.
know, stuff like that.
That's what I do all
and
the
I'm like,
time.
I'm gonna delete that because I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Welcome
I
to my
DM'd
world.
Kim Kardashian.
What'd you say?
Will you be on my wife's podcast?
I mean,
that's a weird
That
one.
Why
that
not,
though, this was so funny. So I do the majority of the reach out,
Yeah.
right? So, and Raven's DMs are where we get seen because people won't respond to
that's
me.
where you DM'd, and I said something like I'm a huge fan or I'm obsessed
And I
with
was
you
like,
or
You were
something.
literally
I was like,
talking to
it's
her.
me.
Yeah, I
it
know,
was-
but I love that
It was
because now
me.
that we're friends, I think it's fucking funny.
Yeah,
I think it's hilarious.
And I tell the world, so I'm not whatever. But so I would send out DMs to people all the time. And one day Raven comes up to me out of the blue. Fine, I did it. And I was like, what did you do? And she was like, I DM'd Kim. And I was like, what? She goes, I DM'd her. And I was like, nobody asked. Like, I was never even
you're
trying
like,
to.
I heard her ask.
I was
in
never
her
even-
sleep.
I-
I had a dream
in
about
her
it.
sleep?
Yeah, no, I was
I had a
like,
dream.
nobody asked you to do that. And she was like
Yeah.
waiting for me to be like,
Yeah, I was
you
looking.
for DMing
You taught me the
Thank
word
you.
validation, and now I'm looking for it.
I was like, thank you for DMing Kim. I was like, okay, great.
You're welcome.
She was like, exactly, you're welcome. I did it. I was like, cool. She never. It's
You're
like
more
2
than
years
welcome
later,
to
she
weird.
hasn't read it.
You're more than welcome to weird DM me anytime.
I just have your phone number. I'll just text you.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I actually, do you know who I did message? Because I really want. Okay, I don't know if you guys experience this, but I want to have a lot of people on my podcast that I find very interesting that aren't really doing interviews. But I do feel like some of those people come with a lot of hate. Like if you have certain people on your podcast, and people will try to cancel you for it.
Yeah.
Now I just got to a point where I just really don't fucking care. But I really want to talk to Bianca Centauri, Kanye's wife.
You mean the titties?
Yeah. Because I DM'd her because I was like,
I would when you get her,
Yeah.
I want to be
You
in
guys,
the
I know
Okay.
how to get her. I literally know her best friend. Like, I will ask. I will try and help you.
please do.
I don't know if
because,
she'll do it, but she doesn't do interviews.
But that's my thing. She doesn't do interviews, but I told her
Well,
in
she doesn't
the
have
DM,
anything to wear to the interviews.
we can blur it out.
Kanye will dress
We
her.
can blur it out. Yeah. Here's my thing. I DM'd her and I said, I don't want to do any sort of like, hey, I don't want to like interrogate you. I said, I just want to have you sit down and explain the topic of conversation of the red carpet because no one asked you. It's all like, he made her do it. She
Yeah.
felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So
You
I'm
want
like,
to give her an outlet.
yeah. And I'm like, and if everything's good, like just set the record straight. Let's have a conversation. But like, I would never have some on my podcast and be like, you did this, you know?
No, I
Right,
think the
yeah,
outfit
yeah.
was great. I think you should go on another red carpet. And I think,
I mean, if I had that body, I'd probably do the same fucking
listen,
thing.
I'm at Ralph's on a regular, so
Yeah, Ross is good.
you should just wear that at Ralph's.
Bristol
Me?
Farms.
No, her.
Oh.
Bristol would definitely. That's a
Cookies.
great outfit for
Yeah,
Bristol
chocolate
Farms.
covered strawberries.
It's definitely
Yeah,
not
don't
for
get me
Erewhon,
started.
but it's totally a Bristol Farms.
It's
look.
totally a
You
Bristol
guys,
Farms.
let's toast.
Toast. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Today, we are toasting to an English teacher named Christina Ulmner.
What up, Christina Ulmner?
I love that.
I know. To honor the passing of her sister, Christina Ulmner started the $20 challenge. Each year, she gives each of her students $20 and requests that they use the money to do something kind.
Oh, I love that.
Students embrace the opportunity using their $20 to help the homeless, support animal shelters, and even surprise veterans with gifts. One group of girls created a basket of treats for an orphanage.
Yes.
And as of this past fall, her students have completed over 350 acts of kindness in her sister's memory.
Yes,
How
sis.
can we donate to them?
Yeah, her name is Christina Ulmner. You can check it
Okay,
out.
all right.
I'm sure
I
she
love
got
that.
it somewhere.
Yeah.
And I love teachers. My parents are both teachers, so I love
Oh,
that.
I love that.
I love teachers too. My mom was a teacher for a
My
minute.
family was my
Yeah.
mom's side of the family teachers.
Education is super important. So is kindness.
Thank you so much for coming on and
Thanks,
talking to us
Avery.
and sharing,
Thank you, guys.
being a light, being a role model for those in this industry that you're living in of putting yourself out there unapologetically
Being
and
honest.
being honest and
Yeah.
giving us your doctor's name so when we need our nose done.
First of all, neither one of you need a
Literally.
nose job.
Listen, I just want to go. We just have little micro.
We would have to go to Arizona, babe.
Yeah, no, Dr. Sharkman's the shit. I'm telling you right now.
I want
Dr.
it.
Sharkman.
Yeah,
I
he's
just I think I
amazing.
just need the shave.
Yeah, that's what he did on the side because I
Yeah.
had a little bit.
I just want that.
But thank you guys for having me, by
Thank
the
you so
way.
much.
I
Avery.
truly adore both of you.
Love you too.
And I hope people realize like they are literally the best people ever.
Aw, you're so
you guys
kind.
really
You're
are.
literally the best
You're
of
great.
us.
And I'm so
too.
glad that we're so close now because we can hang out.
We're neighbors. It makes me
Yeah.
so happy.
Yay.
Tell us where we can find you. Tell us about your podcast.
Oh, sure. Avery Woods on Instagram and TikTok, and I now do YouTube. We're adding something else.
I love it.
And Cheers with Avery is my podcast.
Great
Yeah,
podcast.
cheers.
Love that.
As they were guests on, they came all the way to Arizona because, again, real homies.
yeah,
that part.
was the best.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Avery.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. We have episodes every Thursday. Please check it out and don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and send to your mama. Send it to her. She'll like it, I promise.